Yeah, it was kind of difficult because that's what you dream of as a kid, but ultimately I think this is the best decision, just coming back for another year and being able to do some stuff at BYU.
Who were the people you leaned on in the decision to kind of help you kind of make the best educated decision?
I would say it's my parents and then my mentors like Coach Harvey and Jamaal Williams, guys like that, just talking to them, hearing their advice from me and what they have to say to me.
Jamal's interesting because he played in the league. Like, what was some of the advice that you're willing to share that he kind of recommended to you in the process?
Yeah, it was kind of funny because he was just like, just enjoy it, like you're only going to be in college like one time, you only get to do it for a set amount of time, so it's like as much as you can, just enjoy it. Like the NFL's not going nowhere. If that's something you really want to do, you can do it, but if you can come back next year and do the same thing. So I took that advice and came back.
You made
a timetable health-wise to being back in full strength.
I would say I'm pretty close to it.
Really, right now?
You may have partially answered this question, but what were the reasons why you came back? You kind of talked about Jamaal and saying enjoy your time in college, but what else drew you back?
I would say it's that, and just being around these guys, like just being around my teammates, just I don't know, I just enjoy being around them. Like we go out to eat, we got corn dogs the other day. I mean, it was a great time, so I just like being around them. And I like playing football, so just coming back here it's fun.
How much of a factor was trying to break through and get that Big 12 championship and ultimately the playoff?
I would say that's a big factor. Just I felt like we had two opportunities these last 2 years to do it, and I feel like we'll have another opportunity this year. But we got to make the most of it, and for me, when I think about getting drafted, you're going the first day, So I just wanted to be able to come back and give myself that opportunity and see where it goes.
Running back depth was an issue last year. What do you see from the running back room, and how much better will that depth be this year?
Yeah, I don't think it was an issue last year. I think we had all the guys. I think we did well in that room, and I feel like we got the same guys, and we're going to do great this year.
What did you see from Jovesa in the bowl game, and how good can he be for this team?
Yeah, he can be really good for us. He had a lot of opportunities last year at the bowl game, and he did really well with his opportunity. I was proud of him, and we saw it all in practice, so it was just him getting the opportunity, and he finally got it, and he was able to make the most of it.
So what's this next month for you going to be like?
It'll be a lot of just hanging around, just trying to get the younger guys right. We got Devaughn in now, Micah, guys like that who are learning the offense. So just trying to teach them, trying to make sure they're up to speed, and they look good today. So I'm excited for them.
What are your first impressions of Devaughn? What did you see from him? Great high school.
Yeah, he's really good. I think he's really athletic and moves really well. He just got to get the playbook down. It's the first time being in our offense and being out in practice, but he looks really good. He looks fluid, like a fluid runner, and I'm really excited for what he's going to do.
Jay Kalani brought up just moments ago that you've taken on a role of leader. You were that last year, but has that come naturally to you, or is that kind of something that you've developed over your time here at BYU?
I would say I definitely developed it, just learning from guys like Tyler Batty, Hinkley, and like everyone else. Just kind of taking the stuff that they do and just kind of applying it to myself and trying just to be the best leader I can be.
Along with yourself, who were kind of taking on that role of leaders in this 2026 team?
Yeah, Keanu, Bodie stepping up. We got Bruce who's stepping up, Bear stepping up too. So we got all kinds of dudes. I would say it's like at least one person in every room, and they're all doing a great job, and it's cool to see it kind of come together.
This is Bear's first spring practice here. What's your expectation for him this season?
Yeah, I expect him to get better. I feel like he'll be able to get better in all types of ways. Last year it was just kind of really rapid. Kind of got thrown into the fire, but I feel like this time, with time to develop and time to learn, I feel like he'll have a really good year.
You had a phenomenal season last year, obviously. Are there any aspects that you're working on specifically to get better? What you'd like to see from yourself?
Yeah, I'm just working on everything again. Pass pro. Just getting faster, just anything I can just to be the best player I can be comes out of this.
At the end of last season, when you suffered the injury, how much pain were you playing through? And maybe that last month of the season.
It wasn't horrible. It was just it didn't hurt enough for me to sit out, so it was just enough to get by, and then it just felt good, and I just wanted to be out there with my guys.
I think it was the boys. That, as well as obviously we look into the draft stock. There was opportunities there to declare for the league, but for myself, I have high standards, and I believe that I didn't perform to the level of my ability last year. So I was just looking forward to coming back and having even more of a better year this year.
What what are you looking to, I guess, show the NFL in this next year?
Yeah. So in developing the new technique last year, kind of took a little bit off of my knockback. So the ability to get into the backfield consistently is something that I'm starting to master within this technique, as well as my pass rush is just being even more relentless, using my hands better. So I took a lot of that feedback, and I'm looking forward to applying it this year.
Overall, the defensive coaching staff, obviously, can you take us through maybe the emotions when you were learning about all that, and maybe some conversations you had with people?
Sure. I think the emotions were just recognizing that I was kind of calm because I realized that the Lord would take care of what He needed to. I also recognized that Coach Kalani was staying, and regardless of who's in that position, I think that the culture of Kalani is what makes his team special. It's not necessarily just the coaches, but it's the culture that the players buy into. So as that transition was happening, I think I was less worried about the coaches and more worried about my players and my brothers understanding that we're here for each other and we're here for this culture.
How much?
Kalani hired K-Pop. What was kind of the reaction from defense personnel like yourself to him getting promoted to DC?
I think we were all excited. I know from my standpoint, K-Pop he's an energetic demon right there. So he's always upbeat, he loves this team. I think the last time he always says the last time we won a championship was when it was his senior year. So with that in mind and him taking over, that's our goal, our championship, getting back to that in Texas, that game in Texas, and then just finishing it this time.
How much different do you expect this scheme to be with him as the DC?
Not too different, if I'm being honest. There's a little changes here and there. Verbiage is kind of different. But a lot of it is just everyone owning their role and then letting us play free, which I'm really excited about. I think with the bodies that we have coming back and the health and then adding the additions that we have, a lot of it is everyone play your game, but within the scheme.
How much more comfortable are you this year in the scheme?
A high percentage.
Okay.
I feel a lot more comfortable. Even just within the first day. I mean, I feel secure in my technique. I've worked all offseason on it. I have a year under my belt within the defense, so I would say a pretty 150% better.
Okay.
Last year you told us John Tunway-Peo, who was relatively unknown, was going to be a standout. Who's been standing out in the offseason to you in your group?
From the D-tackle core,
defensive.
Fettuli. Vi is phenomenal. He's a freshman. This is his first spring, but you saw a couple games of him last year. He redshirted, but he's got that natural instinct to play within the box, which is hard to find. The box is a difficult place to play, especially as a younger kid. So for him, he put on a lot of good weight, and he's looking well.
Another guy in the interior that's running it back with you is Anisi Purcell. What can you say about maybe the growth that Anisi's taken heading into year 2 for him?
I mean, Anisi looked phenomenal even last year. I mean, we saw that sack that he had at Cincinnati. That's just a tribute to his work effort. He's gotten thicker, he's gotten bigger, and he's gotten stronger. That's one of our strongest power cleaner. So he's getting up there with 4 plates plus, and he's hitting the basement with it when he catches. So him being able to do that forcefully within his technique is phenomenal. I'm excited to play with him.
And to follow up on that, how intense and grueling was winter conditioning just to get to this point of these past 2 months?
It was everything that we needed to be. We had to get the bodies back, right? We played late into December, which was a blessing. We want to play even later, but it was very physical, very demanding on the body, but it was perfect because now we come out here and practice feels a little bit easier. Even though they're still working us, we're in that shape, in that mode to play ball the way we want to.
One of the things you brought up when you did transfer to BYU, I guess an intriguing aspect was maybe the strength and conditioning program, what they were doing as far as just avoiding injuries, etc. Now you're in another offseason. What stood out to you about the strength and conditioning program, nutrition program, and how has it impacted you?
They are bought into the culture just as much as the players, maybe if not more. We do everything as a unit. So when we win, they win. When we lose, they lose. And so they're just as hungry because they lost that Big 12 championship just as much as we did. But they are 100% committed to what they work, what they do, and what they believe in, which is amazing. I have numbers where I've increased 100 pounds on my back squat within just a year, from last year's testing to this year. So they are phenomenal. Again, not just strength-wise, but I mean, I was able to play 14 games without an injury. That's a tribute to them. That's a huge blessing. Obviously, I've learned how to work on my body, but with the nutrition staff, with the strength staff, everyone works as a collaborative unit, and it's just phenomenal when you get the result.
For a veteran like
Last
yourself,
question.
what's the What's the objective in the next month, in these 15 practices that you're looking to accomplish in this defense as a whole?
The objective for me is to almost grow as much as I can. I feel very secure in my technique, so right now it's almost frog hair's length of growth. So it's just those 0.1%, 0.2%. I've been playing college football for 5 years now, so it's a super amazing blessing to be where I'm at. But I want to close that gap to 100%. If I'm at 90.2, I want to get to 91.2. You know, just those little increments of growth. And then bringing on the new guys and then buying in just as much as everyone else's. So unity, this brotherhood is what's going to take us all the way.
It was fun. It feels like we were just back at it. It was funny. I was getting my hand stamped by my trainer. It felt like I'd been doing this like a month ago, not a very long break. So it was awesome to get back, see where everybody's at, see the new players we've got. And you can't beat football.
What are your first impressions of the 3 transfers that came in?
On the offensive line, Junior Zach and Pocky, they're good. They're gonna be a big piece of this offensive line. We lost some key starters last year. Everybody's still fighting for a spot right now this point in the year, but no, they're all good. They've been up in the film room learning the offense, and doing a lot of walkthroughs as an offensive line. So, no, they're right on track to a lot of them seeing some major playing time this year, I think.
You're stepping into a leadership role now. How crazy is that to consider that you were playing defensive line just a couple of years ago?
No, it's fun. It's a little bit surreal. Grew up a BYU fan. It's awesome to be in this position. Awesome to be with this group of guys. Have an amazing coach. And I feel honored that they look at me as a leader. Hopefully, I can fill that role well. But no, it's awesome. It's surreal. It's kind of a dream come true, and we're just gonna keep working hard and make it happen.
With it being a dream playing here, was it tough for you to announce you were running it back like many of your teammates did? Was that a foregone conclusion, or was there a decision that had to be had?
Oh, no decision. Not a lot of thinking went into that one. I knew I was coming back. Coach Woods was coming back. The whole offensive staff was coming back. So, no, it was a no-brainer. Not a lot of thinking went into that. I knew I was coming back, get better, and accomplish some things we didn't last year.
Keanu talked about the fact that he's had 100 pounds on his back squat via winter conditioning. Where have you improved the most, I guess, in that regard?
Yeah, no, Keanu, he got a lot better this offseason. He got a little sassy. But, I feel like, we have such a good strength staff. I added some weight. You don't want to push it too much because you don't want to get hurt. But, no, I squatted some numbers I never had before, benched some numbers I never had before, which is kind of rare as a fifth year. So it's been fun so far, and after spring ball, we're going to have 3 more months of it, training, getting better. So, we have, I think, the best strength staff in the country. And you can see the way they develop guys and build us up. It's been a fun off season, and now we've got spring ball, and then we'll be back to the weight room for a couple of months.
How would you describe maybe the chemistry of the offense? Bears back. I know LJ's recovering, but just a lot of the key guys are coming back. Just maybe the chemistry of this offensive unit day one.
Yeah, I think you got to build chemistry, especially as an offensive line. You got to learn how to work with some guys. We've got some injuries up front, some new faces, so we're just all learning to play with each other. But it's comfortable having Bear back. He's kind of the voice of the offense. He commands it, so it's always nice having another voice back there that you've heard before. Yeah, so it's awesome having Bear back. We're going to get the chemistry down. I mean, we don't play a game till August. We fall camp right now. We're trying to see what we got, what guys are good at, what kind of schemes we can run early on, and then we'll really hone in on that chemistry in fall once we know our guys, know our 5 guys, know our offense, and hit the ground running.
When you bring up that voice of Bear, I think back to August. He was so quiet, at least with us. Can you speak as a player who's been in the huddles with him, just how he's evolved with that voice and how he's grown as a leader of this program?
No, it was so awesome to see Bear grow from last year. Early in the season, you could hear him back there asking LJ what to do in some situations, which maybe isn't what you like as an offensive lineman, your quarterback not always knowing what they're doing. But by the time we hit Georgia Tech, he was in full control of it. He knew what he was doing. He knew the checks. He knew the kills. And coming out here, everybody's a little rusty, but he didn't skip a beat and being the voice in the huddle, making sure everybody's lined up. So he's learned a lot of the offense. He's definitely a captain for us out there, a leader for us. And he's so poised as a young guy. Sometimes I'd get riled up out there, whether I couldn't hear the clap and we were in a loud environment, and sometimes he was that calm voice for us.
He would never tell us how hurt he really was. this. What did he go through from what you saw, and how tough is this kid?
No, Bear's tough as nails. I often say he's the toughest guy on this team. There's no quit in him. You can tell he was just raised right, tough kid. And that's one of his greatest, features. He might not be the most talented or the best throwing quarterback out there, but he is tough as nails, and he's going to lay it down on the line game in and game out. Yeah, I don't know the significance of his injury last year. All I know is that he played every snap he was asked to play, and he came back for the bowl game. And not a lot of guys would have, but that just speaks volumes to who Bear is and how tough he actually is.
Only 2 losses last year, Texas Tech, the heralded Texas Tech defensive line.
Yeah.
What did you guys as a group on that offensive line learn about yourselves, and how to improve, how to get better, how to match that, and then individually, what did you learn?
Yeah, I think there's a lot to learn. That was a very good defensive line. You're watching some of those guys' combine numbers, and they were as advertised. They were really good. But I felt like a lot of it was we were beating ourselves as an offensive line. That's something, before we came out here, Coach Woods talked a lot about, is just our emphasis as an offensive line is to not beat ourselves, not make mistakes within the system, make sure we're blocking all the guys, blocking the correct guys. And, I think we can do that. We'll be in good shape. We got a lot of talent. And like it's been mentioned with these 3 incoming guys, we're pretty deep on the offensive line, I believe, and guys are only going to get better as we move towards August. So there's a lot to learn from it, a lot to take away, but I think the overall theme is that the only team that can beat us is us. So we just got to fix those small mistakes and move forward.
For a veteran like yourself, where are you looking to improve in these 15 spring practices?
Yeah, there's a lot of places you can improve. It's awesome to come into spring ball like this because you get really good coaching. There's no game plan going on. You're watching every single rep of every single practice, even the young guys. There's plenty of technique stuff I can work on. Me being able to command the offensive line is always something at center you got to get better at. And then just knowing defenses, learning defenses. It's an awesome situation to be able to play our defense because they run so much stuff. So by the time we get to season, it's like we've almost seen every single defense, which is a benefit to us, and it helps me out just learning where we got to get our guys to, the best protections, flipping protections, zone schemes, and whatnot. So there's a lot I can work on, but a lot this spring will be on technique. I'm just trying to hone in on some things, whether that's the foot placement, hand placement, playing with better bend. Spring ball is an awesome time to get better. Looking forward to it.
When you hear New bragging about adding the 100 pounds, he's obviously a guy you see a lot in practice. Do you take that as a challenge? It's like, let's see this improvement.
I love New. It's awesome working with him. We push each other to be better. I feel like he's a big reason why I was able to have so much success last year, is because I felt like I was going against one of the best D tackles in the country all year. And then, you get to fall and everybody's about the same as New. But no, I love competing with him, love working in the weight room with him. He's a better guy off the field than he is on the field. But it definitely pushes me, we get in that weight room, you want to have the most weight on the bar. And so my lifting partner is Kyle Safarchuk this offseason, so we always try to do that.
Who are some of the young kids maybe that didn't get to play much last year that have had good off seasons that could maybe step up into a larger role this year?
Yeah, I think it's early to tell, but we'll have some guys. One guy to keep an eye on is Trevin Osler. He played a little bit at the wide tight end, 6th lineman coming in. He's a really talented kid, and I think he can be a big part of this offense again.